All right, people, we are back from HeroesCon 2025, and yes, it was an amazing weekend. Part of that is for comic hunting, and it wasn't just HeroesCon. I also went to Second Charles and Rebel-based comics and toys. Finally, after my third year going there, I was able to hit a local comic shop. Wasn't able to make it to the Heroes Aren't Hard to Find actual store, but I did shop at their booth. So that almost kind of counts. At some point one year, I am going to actually go to their physical store to just check it out. And shout out to Heroes or Rebel-based comics and toys. Cool store as well. So now it's time to get into everything I picked up. And oh my, so between those three places, Second Charles, Rebel-based comics and toys, and HeroesCon, this is everything I picked up. All issues, a couple trades. Oh my, a lot to get into, but also this massive beast, which was, oh my goodness, the apps, probably the gem of the weekend, this Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes box set, which has, oh my goodness, I'm trying to figure out how to open this up. Hardcover books of Avengers doing what they do, avenging. So yeah, that was a great pickup. So yeah, so many comics. We got lots to unpack, so let's dive in. All right, people, I really got to impress upon you how many books I picked up in Charlotte at HeroesCon, as well as Second Charles and Rebel-based comics and toys. All three found some amazing things. Lots of great stuff for the collection. Obviously, HeroesCon did the most, but Second Charles had plenty to offer, and I was able to find some cool stuff there. And of course, shout out to Rebel-based comics and toys. Cool store, lots of cool books. So this is going to be everything, even though I've shown some of this off. So diving right in, we've got two trades. All New Wolverine, Volume 2. This is Civil War 2. I think it has issues 7 through 12. And I thought there was something else. But I got this. This is actually in one of the cheap bins I found. It was in a dollar bins, but it was half off. So I got this trade for 50 cents. I didn't want to pass that up. And Supergirl, book 1 by Peter David, Gary Frank, from the 96 run. Of course, Supergirl, I had to pick that up. Now we get into the absolute load of single issues. So many fantastic books. Daredevil 354. This was just looking through my Daredevil list while I was digging through bins and realized I missed that one for some reason. So I had to do, actually, no, wait, I got that one in one of the cheap bins. I was just digging through and I realized I had missed it. So snatched that right up. Uncanny X-Men 512. Just need another copy of this one because the copy I have is signed. Some X-Men Unlimited, number 3. Among came a Sabretooth. And finally an X-Men Unlimited 1. These were 50 cents. Yeah, these are part of the, I dug through a bunch of boxes on Sunday at one booth, and they were $1. And at one point he's like, all right, everybody knows, just so you guys know, everything in these are all 50 cents now. Hell yes. So I was at the booth with a bunch of people digging through books. So Amazing Spider-Man number 10. Talked about this series, volume 2. Officially finished that up. I think 15. Was this the last issue I needed? No, wait, this wasn't it. But there's number 15. Doom. So we're going into HeroesCon. I talked about what I needed to finish that up. I needed 5 issues, and I found all 5 of them between the Rebel Base and then at the show. And this is one I showed off. I got this at Rebel Base. I didn't even see this one. Bring on the Bad Guys variant. Amazing Spider-Man number 6. Spider Green Goblin, just cool as hell. I have the A cover, which this is way better than that. So I don't know how I missed that one. And then Cap. Got Mike Zeck and John Beatty. 262. Some of these are in order already because I've put them into my League of Comic Geeks. There's 268 with the Defenders beside them. Someone Who Cares. Cap 270. So I was able to snag some Cap, of course. My man Batroc 303. There's another issue I was missing in like a string of issues. So most of the late run of Cap stuff I already have. Daredevil 148. This one I picked up. This was not one of the cheap books, but it wasn't that crazy expensive, but just a good price, nice looking Daredevil I needed. So as I worked through the 100s, Marvel must-haves, This one, actually no, this was free from Rebel Base Comics and Toys. It just has 3 issues in there, collects 3 issues. ASM 39, Avengers 7, and Moon Knight #1. So snag that because it's free. And then I showed these off from Second and Charles, Punisher, Captain America, Blood and Glory 1, 2, and 3. Is both of them, I don't know, eventually running into each other. I think they're investigating, independently investigating some weapon trafficking, something like that, I believe. And they probably have a couple of fights and team up, something like that. And then there is a bunch of X-Men, actually. A lot of these were from the 50-cent dollar, formerly dollar, then 50-cent booth. X-Men 22 from the 90s, 91 series, volume 2, 36, part of Phalanx Covenant, 110, all these 50 cents. New X-Men, string of issues, 116, 117. I always like the pink on this one. I remember picking that one up from, actually got that from one of my favorite shops, HeroesComics, before it moved locations. 118, way back when it was in the mall, if anybody knows about HeroesComics history. 118, no 119, I did grab 120, unless there was a 119, I missed it, I don't know. I went through most of the boxes. 121, now I do have all this stuff already, but it was just New X-Men, 50 cents. 122, with Lilandra. And some of these I do have, I might have signed. I might have a couple of these signed by that guy, Ethan Van Sciver. But there's 123, Euro Photo 126, jump up to Riot at Xavier's, part 1, 135. So this has all 4 parts of that. 36, 37, Quentin, and 138. So a string of new X-Men issues. Dig that. Captain America, 357, Bloodstone. The Bloodstone Hunts, part 1 of 6. Baron Zemo, Batroc Brigade, and the Bones of Ulysses Bloodstone. Oh my. Then I got a bunch of Uncanny X-Men in here as well. But there's 280. There's newsstand. There's just extra. Wolverine 90. I need another copy of that one because the other copy I did get signed by Larry Hama many years ago. So got another copy of that. It's a good ass book, dope cover. So hell yes, I did snag a bunch of Wolverine at that booth. Wolverine 72, Where Walks Sentinel. So that was dope. And then X-Men 45. I think this might be a newsstand. But also what I'm doing is, because I do have a bunch of stuff I want to get rid of. So kind of bolstering some of that to probably eventually start selling at, I don't know, one of the smaller conventions around here or on Facebook Marketplace, something like that. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Uncanny X-Men 276. All of these 50-cent issues. 286. I like that cover. Especially with Archangel kind of right front and center. Main Man Bishop, 288. The look on his face. Storm and Forge, 289. Storm, 291. And then jump up a bit. 327. If Sins Be Forgiven. That one's signed by Joe Joe Madureira. Uncanny X-Men 503 and 515. Both of these I have signed by, at least by Matt Fraction. I don't know. Yeah, I know they're both signed by Matt Fraction. And then Captain America 295, The Sisters of Sin. Oh my goodness. With Nomad. This one, just another gap I needed. And then I need 299 as well. This one is a lower grade copy, but it was cheap. I just grabbed it. I didn't really notice how bad this was right there, so I may still try to grab one. It wasn't that expensive. So the next two I needed, obviously 328, 336. You know the price stickers on those. With D-Man, Falcon, Nomad, The Search for Steve Rogers. So 2 issues. I think I did drop a clip just for those 2 as I found them together in the booth. So I was happy to snag a couple issues I needed at one time. And then here is 443, just some of these straggler issues in like a long stretch that I needed. So Cap and his armor. So those three specifically. Then we got some Avengers. 21 and 69. Obviously I need some early Avengers as well, but there's a string of issues, late 60s going into 70s I needed. And this one, like this cool action cover. I think one of the staples was popped, but I was fine for the price, and we kind of negotiated. And I don't think I got these together. I think I did get these separately and bundled with some other books. And then we get into more ASM Volume 2. There's 13. And then this one was the last one. ASM 14. That issue right there was the last purchase I needed to complete Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2, which was one of my goals for the weekend, and I was happy to accomplish that. So, Volume 2 for 98 from 1. It ran 1 through 58, and then it went back to the legacy numbering with this issue, 500. So, I got another copy of this now. I have my original copy signed by Campbell years ago, and then I just got another copy in right before the convention, and then I found this one for like $3. So, yeah. And then Daredevil 62. There's a string of Daredevil issues I was looking at. 71. Oh, shout out to Philly Born. This one I actually ran into Philly Born. We were near this booth together, and I was looking at some Daredevil books. And I was either at that booth or the previous one. I was cutting myself off from some Daredevil books I was like, all right, I'm done shopping to get some more footage, get some more pictures, whatever. There's 105 with Black Widow. And I was like, oh man, I could get them. I was like, no, let me just stop. Done buying books, done shopping. And yeah, so there's 344, another random issue I was just missing. It took me a while to track that one down because I was going through a bunch of booths where it might have been people that just weren't vintage, but man, it was a struggle. Not too many booths had that one. So X-Men 12 and 13, Hazardous Territory from the 91 series. And then this issue I needed from these Spider-Man collectible series, Volume 1. So I have I think there's 24 of those now. Just missing Volume 1. These were just thin partial reprints. I think it's like half of this issue, whatever. And they were just inserts in newspapers at one time. So I think my mom started pulling them for me and probably had just missed the first one. So, and then this one, yeah, Web of Spider-Man, Planet of the Symbiotes, Web of Spider-Man Super Special. Got Carnage on it. It was cheap, so figured what the hell. X-Men 100, Giant Size Special, the Revolution cover, or the Revolution with Chris Claremont and then Neil Francis Yu. Apparently I missed this. I just didn't have this cover, so okay. And then insert a string of Wolverine issues. There's 9. A Promise of Death. The Broken Claws. There's 79. These are all from the 50-cent booth. Another copy of this one. 89. Some of these I had when I was young. This era of Wolverine from the mid 80s up into the 90s. But I was still able to pick some comics up from a grocery store from down the street from where I was living. And so I had a string of issues, but I had like every other issue for a while. And there's 94, Generation X, 95, Vindicator, 96, and a lot of Adam Kubert on this, 97, 98, yeah. And then jump up to, there's 109, 108. Hey, Shaman, what's up? 110. And this is cool. I like the line work and coloring on this one. 111. 131. Another U cover. The Price of Survival. There's 130. So I need a chunk of this Wolverine run. And then Wolverine Annual 96, 64 pages of all-out X-Men action. October 96, Red Ronin's Rage. Oh my, Silver Samurai. It's not Sunfire, is it? It's in that costume. And then you got a couple other special issues which were nice to run into. X-Men Bloodlust, Alan Davis, Paul Neary, rest in peace, and the Jungle Adventure. This one was one I was happy to score. I don't know if this one was in the... This might have been in that 50 cent bin too. But Walter Simonson, Mike Mignola, Bob Wycheck. Just because I've never come across this in person, so I had to snag that. Another run I've talked about, Fantastic Four Volume 3, technically, 98. There's 32, 33, 41, all 50 cents. Got Human Torch and Namor. 42, 46, 47, 50. Enough said. Very thick issue. This is should be, if it's enough said one, this is one where it's basically a silent issue. So I have the X-Men one. I don't know what other ones are out there though. And there's 59. And then I believe it goes back to legacy numbering, like fully. A little, maybe a couple more issues after this, I think. I don't know if it got too many into the 60s, but some more Uncanny. 262. Forge. 263. 265. And 271. But no. We're not done yet, people. Another stack of... Now, this stack here has its own extra special value. Actually, this one... I forgot to pull out. I meant to go another one. 281. That was a cheap find. And then we have a bunch of X-Men #1s. Boom. 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 You put that one in the bagging board. Cover's kind of loose there. And then got that group up. And then that one there. So more X-Men #1s. All 50 cents. I just got a whole other set of these. Because I realized I only had the one set apparently, and it's signed, so by Jim Lee at least. Eventually I want to get it signed by Claremont as well. So yeah, but save the best for last because we got, I know I talked about this, I did show it off in a clip, a little short, and then something I posted on YouTube as well. But Uncanny X-Men number 304, not one copy, not two, not three, but four. 4 copies, Uncanny X-Men number 304, my favorite single issue in all of comics. 4 copies. I got 3 at one booth, and then there's actually 2 more there. One of the mistakes I made was forgetting to go back there. I said I had it in my mind, go back to that booth, go grab the other 2. But I forgot for some reason and just never did. So I could have had 2 more. But yeah, that's... And I remember talking to somebody, there's 2 people I was talking to at the same booth, not the 50 cent booth, but another booth. We were all digging through, looking for different comics and just talking about comics and collecting and Comic Cons, all that stuff. Talking to this dude and this one lady, and he saw I was going, and I was just telling him like why I had so many copies of that, and that it's just my favorite single issue. So every time I find it cheap, I'm absolutely snagging them up. So yeah, that is that. My haul from HeroesCon 2025. Now, let's wrap it up. Okay, then that was everything I picked up in Charlotte at HeroesCon, Rebel Base Comics Toys, as I said, as was Second and Charles. Fantastic shopping experiences, lots to offer, and all 3. HeroesCon, just so many comics. I still have to do my recap, so be on the lookout for that. I wanted to do this first, and my recap kind of be the kind of summation of my experiences there, covering the event and seeing and showing off everything I had to offer. So I want to make that the big kind of capper on my coverage, that at least for video stuff. More to go on my blog and some of the other social media sites as I drop some more photos and some more short video clips and all that stuff. But yes, tons of comics, lots to offer. If whatever you're looking for, you can find it at HeroesCon. This is absolutely a show for the comic fans, reading, collecting, all that good stuff, all that stuff. Single issues, trades, graphic novels, modern releases going back, Golden Age, all sorts of goodies. But yeah, so that is that. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you thought. About my haul. Anything you saw here sparked your interest, sparked your curiosity. Let me know in the comments below. If you were there, what are some highlights from your haul there? What were you looking for? Were you successful hunting? Did you walk away not picking up anything? Did you find some surprise pickups? whatever you have, whatever your shopping experiences were, drop it in the comments below. Let's hear about it. Happy reading, happy hunts, happy collecting. I'm Gino. This is Genotalkscomics. Thanks for watching, and peace out.